do want to put a storm track on this if we can and take a look at where this is headed. So busy night, though, Hayes. Man, okay, so while we're doing that, you can continue to give us some more information on this if you have any more additional information.
I mean, all I really want to say, Dan, is when these things happen, as you know, that was the biggest concern, is the warning. The warning did get issued on this storm, but personal accounts from people here in the mobile home park, they said that it was too late, because this wrapped up so quick, happened so quick. The warning did come out, but it was past them already. They had already experienced the tornado, the damage.
Yeah.
I'm passing another trailer home here now that has a very large branch across it. These are people's lives. So, and it's a pretty grim scene just to walk through here and have the emergency people in the background and just trying to find everybody and make sure everyone's okay, neighbors talking to each other. But that's the biggest thing for me that really got my attention, is that it was just a little bit late with the warning, because that happened so quick on the front edge of that squall line.
Yeah, you got to remember, Hayes, this is like, and we kind of attribute this to whack-a-mole. If you've ever played that game, you got circulations that pop up. As soon as you hit them, there's another one that pops up, and that's the type of environment that we were under. But we're tracking this storm here, and you can see near Clarksville, take your tornado precautions. This storm is booking it. 65 miles an hour, according to the radar report and the warning. 65 miles an hour moving to the east. That's about as fast as you drive on I-40 on a non-trafficked area. So there's the Clarksville area. Lamar High School is in the path of that storm. It's going to be in Clarksville. And notice how it's still a ways away, but it's moving that fast, where in 65 miles an hour, it's going to be there in about 7 minutes. Lamar High School, 12:11. Hickeytown, 12:15. Bullfrog Valley, Dover at 12:25. So, Hayes, I really appreciate you being on there. Just to let you know, too, the warning that was issued for that storm, severe thunderstorm warning, and then there was an additional tornado warning north, but that circulation, however, as people are mentioning, actually did not have a tornado warning on that. Just to let you know.
And like you said, it's just so hard
tough
when it happens that fast. It's just so hard to pin it down.
But you were on it, though, Hayes. You were on it, and I appreciate it. And you called in and you gave the report, and you might have saved some lives. So thank you so much, Hayes.
Anytime.
All right. Well, anyways, we're going to drop off here our weather coverage after this tornado warning, but it goes until 12:15. It's a short-lived warning, but it is moving fast. 65 mile an hour forward speed, not the speed of the winds. It's moving east at 65 miles an hour, and this can very quickly ramp up.
Joshua Myers just called and said they are without power in between Tawnytown and Springdale, right there at I-49. So we have power outages left and right across the area. I mean, the main ones we see in our area are in Sebastian County. But like you said earlier, Gentry, the entire town without power. So this is going to be an ongoing problem. And I mean, people having to pick up from all of these storms, whether they did see a tornado or if it was just those 70-mile-an-hour winds. There's a lot of damage that was done, and people are going to be recovering from this for a time.
I think that I think we can safely say that there was a circulation. It was pretty intense. It came through. It developed fast, very fast. And I do think it was a tornado, as the Weather Service will probably go down and survey it. Just hearing from the reports, Josh Myers obviously was on the tornado that was in, as you mentioned, Cherokee County, Adair County. So we got another weather call coming in. I'll let you take that, Melissa.
The tips line.
Yeah, go ahead and take that. Just unmic her if you can. So tornado warning for Clarksville. Please take your tornado precautions. Man, the warnings are just flying out. I mean, the Weather Service out of Tulsa and Little Rock working overtime tonight and doing a fabulous job with all of these warnings and having all this information. There's so many polygon warnings that are out there. It's kind of a little bit of a mess. But there's a look at live Doppler radar. And Melissa's kind of controlling the radar, so we'll let her do that. A little bit of rain coming into the Siloam Springs area. Now, here's another interesting thing. The lightning's not over yet, and you'll hear rumbles of thunder, and you might get gusts of wind from what we call a wake low. That's a whole nother ball of wax as this low-pressure system comes in, and you get a developing low-pressure system behind the wave of energy that moves in. You got a high that's also very close to it, and you get a wake low. You get strong winds, and it creates probably some gusts at around 50, 60 miles an hour at times, especially with this intense of a system. And the winds will be blowing tomorrow. So I don't know, Melissa, if that's what you're hearing, very strong winds behind this system, but that's definitely a possibility with the wake low. Is that what you were looking at?
Actually, no. I have been talking to a lot of people on the phone who are actually just terrified because the storm is very loud and there's a lot of energy going along with it. So you have all those rumbles of thunder, plus you have that wind that is gusting 40, 50, 60, even 70 miles an hour in extreme cases. So people are terrified, and I was actually just giving the all clear to a gentleman over in Siloam, or Elm Springs, closer to Siloam, letting him know, yes, you may be hearing a few rumbles of thunder, but the bow that we're worried about is moving more toward Berryville and Eureka Springs and in the Huntsville area at this time. So the winds on the back side of this, I have not had a chance to look at yet. It has been rather busy in the Weather Center this evening. Well, all day,
I'm just typing
actually
in a report to the Weather Service about that tornado, potential tornado in Crawford County. So
yes.
Apologize for that. I can't type and talk at the same time. Can't do much at the same time.
Oh, please.
All right, so got up. All right, so Melissa's talking about those winds, and yeah, you can bring up those wind gusts. Let's bring up Weather 2 if we can. Weather 2 is the source. Yeah,
it looks like the strongest wind gusts that we had in our area were down in Stigler, which is, I mean, right there next to where we were talking about those tornadoes being over in Adair and Sequoia and Clipping Cherokee. 67-mile-an-hour gusts. Northwest Arkansas from Fort Smith up to Fayetteville, 55-mile-an-hour gust. Let me zoom out and see what the gusts were like region-wide. Yeah, Stigler was some of the stronger winds we are seeing all the way around, but from Oklahoma and even the Panhandle, not necessarily in Oklahoma, but in Texas, Amarillo to Midland, 40-mile-an-hour gusts. So you can really tell where that storm moved in and really started getting going just looking at those winds. The River Valley taking the brunt of this activity with 56-mile-an-hour gusts in McAllister, 67 in Stigler, 55 from Fort Smith up. Bentonville actually only getting 41-mile-an-hour gust, and look at where the storm hasn't been, really. Russellville, it hasn't made it there yet, so 17-mile-an-hour winds. You literally can see where this front has tracked just looking at the winds since midnight last night. So fortunately, it is almost out of our area, so before too long, I think we'll be able to.
Yeah, after this tornado warning, I think, like you said, it's gonna stop. I just want to get the report on what time that came through. So it looks like 11. I want to say around 11:08, maybe 11:10. So about 11:09 p.m. All right. So another update here, just continuing to update. You can hear all the warnings going out. It's moving into the eastern areas of our weather coverage area. Yes.
The tornado warning for Johnson, Logan, and Pope goes until 12:15, so we got about 7 more minutes with it.
And hopefully that can expire, like you said, pretty fast and won't get reissued. This storm is moving. I mean, look, we said 12:08 moving into Clarksville, and it's 12:09 right now. I want to do another storm track. Let's bring up Weather 1 if we can. And this storm moving east at 65 miles an hour. I mean, that is cooking it. So Ross, 12:16. Scottsville, 12:27. That's 20 minutes. It moves almost halfway across another county. Howard School, a little before that at 12:20. Holman, like right on top of you. Take your tornado precautions immediately. and Dover, and this could be one of those embedded circulations. And it's interesting because the radar isn't showing. It's showing little embedded circulations, but actually the circulation's now well east of Clarksville. So this thing is moving even faster than possibly 65 miles an hour. This thing is moving along. It does look like the rotation is becoming more what we call outflow dominant, so meaning it's just straight line winds. There's still that tornado potential with the tornado warning, and Weather Service isn't going to let their guard down on that, but I wouldn't doubt if this warning does get expired here pretty soon. Madison County, your warning has expired, and there's still some heavy rain that's coming through. There's still some rumbles of thunder. That's another thing, too. You can still get the lightning and thunder beyond the storm, so I want to look at, we were talking about, Melissa, all the damage that we had. Let's take a look here at the power outages, too. And we were mentioning about that. So if we look at what's called the power outage index, let's see what we got here as this storm moves to the east. And so it doesn't look like a whole lot. We'll see if this loops. And so this data might be coming in. Yeah, there you go. So it's coming in, just takes a little while to load, but you're looking at some high damage, a high power outage index. So as you mentioned, a lot in the River Valley, a lot in eastern Crawford County and Franklin County and Sebastian County, and some power outages that have popped up across Washington and Madison and Carroll. And in fact, if we go to that, do we still have that power outage site that's open?
No, I closed it, but I can get it right back open for you in Oklahoma.
Yeah, that weather, I know it's a good.
It really is.
It's a good site that shows all of the different areas. So let's see here.
Oh, that's not the one I want. This is the one I want.
Yeah, so if we look here, we got 16,000 customers overall in Oklahoma that are without power. And if we move to Arkansas, we'll go that, and you can just zoom out and scroll out and show that. So you got Salus that's getting some strong storm, and the tornado warning's dropped off. So we're done with the warning. We've got a few more minutes here for these warnings to go on, and then we'll be able to drop off of our weather coverage.
Almost 90% of the residents in Adair County are without power.
Wow.
And when you look at Sebastian County, which has the second largest city in Arkansas, Fort Smith, 42% of the people there are without power.
Talk about November going out like a bang.
Really. Welcome to December, everyone.
Yeah.
We're officially
there. 12.
Yeah.
12/12. So now we got winter weather that we have to watch for next week.
We most definitely will be.
Yeah. So the warning, they don't drop off the tornado warning, even though it's dropped off. So that's definitely an issue. That's a bug that we've got to report. But there's a look at that storm system.
They mentioned Tulsa's been having several bugs tonight. So
I reported to the Weather Service about that possible tornado in Crawford County in the Van Buren area as it was tracking north of exit 3, just east of the state line. A lot of lightning, but here's the deal. These storms are about to expire. All of the warnings, it's moving out. We're about to shut down our severe weather coverage. Even though it's moving into Newton County, it's still starting to weaken a little bit. Severe thunderstorm warnings, no tornado potential. Everything is dying down, and so we're going to be able to leave you. If you do not have our Weather Authority app, make sure you download it. It's got great information, got site-specific warnings. I'm sure people were woken up by it. And download it free on the NWA Weather Authority app store, such as Apple iTunes and Google Play. So just a real quick recap. We had storms this early evening, should I say, around 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Melissa was covering storm that was tornado warned near Charleston, moved through Franklin County. We had some storms in northwest Arkansas, but then the bulk of the energy moving through. So we will continue to keep you updated on damage. If you have damage reports, please send those along to us so we can pass those along to the Weather Service. Again, you can reach us on our Facebook pages, NWA Weather Authority, meteorologist Dan Skoff, Melissa Hall, on Twitter, Rick Catesby, I know he was active tweeting out storms and tracking those as well, Weather Rick. And so from all of us here at your Weather Authority team, keep it here with your Weather Authority, and we'll keep you safe. Have a good morning and enjoy your weekend.